everyone, and welcome to the Women of War podcast, where we dive into the untold stories of a woman's bravery, struggles, and resilience in the midst of conflict. I'm your host, Megan, and together we'll explore the powerful narratives of women who've stood on the front lines, those who have been caught in the crossfire, and the lasting impact war has had on their lives. From ancient warriors to modern day heroes, we'll uncover the roles women played in shaping history through war and peace. So grab your headphones and let's embark on this journey to hear voices of women who fought battles both seen and unseen. Get ready for an eye-opening experience on the Women of War podcast. Today's episode is a journey back in time to the Shang Dynasty, where we'll shine a light on incredible life of Fu Hao. As one of the most formidable figures of her era, she was a consort, a priestess, and a military commander, and so much more. We'll delve into the world of ancient China to discover how Fu Hao carved her name into history, not just as a woman of status, but as a leader whose military prowess and spiritual influence left a mark that transcended a millennia. So, stay tuned as we unravel the story of Fu Hao, a true warrior whose legacy challenges our understanding of women in war. In an episode you won't want to miss, right here on the Women of War podcast. So, let's get into it. First, we're going to start by setting the stage with the Shang Dynasty as a whole. The Shang Dynasty, which lasted from approximately 16,000 to 1046 BCE, was known for its rich culture, impressive bronze craftsmanship, and complex social structures. During this time, the Shang Dynasty thrived along the Yellow River in what is now modern-day China. The dynasty ruled by a series of kings who held both political and religious authority. They believed in the concept of mandate of heaven, which meant that the gods granted them the right to rule. The Shang Dynasty was renowned for its advancement in bronze casting. Skilled artisans created intricate bronze vessels, weapons, and ceremonial objects that showcased their craftsmanship and artistic talent. These objects were often used in rituals and ceremonies to honor the ancestors and communicate with the divine. In addition to their artistic achievement, the Shang Dynasty also had a system of writing known as oracle bone script. This script was used on animal bones and turtle shells for divination. The inscriptions on these oracle bones provided valuable insight into the daily life, rituals, and beliefs of the Shang people. The society of the Shang Dynasty was male-led, with the king and his family at the top, followed by nobles, warriors, and commoners at the bottom. It's like a triangle. Farming was the main way of their economy, with millet and rice being their primary crops. They also engaged in hunting, fishing, and animal husbandry. Religion played a significant role in the Shang society, with worship and ancestral spirits and various gods. Ritual ceremonies and sacrifices were conducted to maintain a harmony between the human world and the spiritual realm. Sadly, the Shang Dynasty eventually fell to the Zhou Dynasty, marking an end to their reign. However, their cultural contributions and historical significance continue to captivate us to this day. Another thing that is important to know before we delve into this amazing woman, Fu Hao, is oracle bones and what they are. This is something we will hear a lot about in this episode. Okay, so we're going to get into oracle bones now. Oracle bones are the messengers from the past, the earliest form of Chinese writing. These artifacts, mainly turtle shell and animal bones, were used during the Shang Dynasty for divination. The ancients would inscribe questions on them relating to matters of state, war, or the will of the spirits. They would then apply heat until cracks formed, which were then interpreted as answers from the divine. These bones are invaluable to us now, for they offer a glimpse into the beliefs, practices, and daily life of civilians long ago. Isn't it fascinating how such mundane objects can bridge us to the wisdom of ancient times? Now, let's dive deeper into Fu Hao. The hush whispers of ancient scrolls. The tale of Fu Hao unfolds, a woman whose name was etched in the annals of time, known after death as Maozi. Hopefully I said that correctly. She was not only a cherished consort to the king, Wu Ding, but also a formidable general and a revered high priestess during the Shang Dynasty. Alas, the sands of time have shrouded much of her life and triumphs in mystery, with scant evidence surviving the era's turbulent tides. Yet, her story, as fragmented as it is, continues to captivate those who seek the echoes of her legacy. It is understood that King Wu Ding, in a strategic weave of diplomacy, sought to unite neighboring tribes by taking a wife from each, a tapestry of alliance. Among these was Fu Hao, who emerged from the shadows of obscurity as one of the king's 64 wives. Wow. Navigating through the complexities of a society that, through bound and servitude, offered women a whisper of power. Ascending became one of the monarch's esteemed 3 consorts. Her origins are riddled, perhaps from the frontier's edge or the vast depths hinted at the arsenal found within her final resting place. Alongside her was Fu Jing, held the mantle of primary queen, while Fu Hao was graced with the title of secondary queen. She was also the mother to Prince Zhao Jing, whose birth surrounded bones of divination, revealed a kingdom's concern for her during that critical hour. The role of the priestess and the mystery rites of ancient China were uniquely prominent within the Shang Dynasty's era. These characters, etched in bone and bronze, such as Fu, dance with multiple meanings, leaving us to ponder the true nature of women like Fu Hao. It is possible that her initial mantle was that of priestess, her union with the king, an intersection of paths rather than her primary identity. Fu Hao was a woman of her own means. She had lands to her name. The oracle bones whisper of her generous tributes to the king, offering of great worth. Though the kings held sway over sacred ceremonies, those pulsing veins of political life, it was Fu Hao to whom he turned, entrusting her with the most sacred of rituals and to talk to the ancestors. In a time where ritual and warfare were the twin pillars of society, Lady Hao stood as a pillar in her own right, casting a long shadow across both domains. It is through the bone script that the tale of Fu Hao unfolds to us. Her legacy unearthed as the ancient site of Ying's, I think I said that correctly. These inscriptions, alongside the silent testimony of weapons and her tomb, speak of a woman who bore the mantle of general for the Shang. She was a force of nature, leading her troops to vanquish the long-standing foes, the Tu Fang, in a single resounding clash. Her military prowess extended to campaigns against the Ying, the Shang, and the Ba. It is her strategic brilliance in the ambush against the Ba that has signed her name into the annals of military history. She commanded an army of 13,000 with General Xing and Hao Gao at her side. She stood as the most formidable military leader of her time. The discovery of her tomb repels the intimidating weapons, including battle axes, and which cements her exceptional status. Yet, let's not forget that Fu Hao was not just an anomaly of her time. The presence of weapons in Fu Jing's tomb suggests she too may have been a warrior. And the oracle bones bear witness to a valor of at least 600 women who took up arms in that era, a testament to their undaunting spirit. The tomb of Fu Hao serves as a portal to the Shang Dynasty's reverence for the afterlife and the stature of those who dwelled within the hierarchy. Her final resting place, set aside from the royal, whispers of her unique status and King Wu Ding's profound respect for her. The untouched state of her tomb, a serendipitous shield against looters, had bestowed upon an unaltered view of her life and the customs of her time. The contents of her tomb, a venerable trove of weapons, artifacts, and sacrificial offerings, paint a vivid portrait of a woman of marital and spiritual importance. The presence of such a diverse cachet of objects from bronze to jade, and the oracle bones within the abode of eternity underscore her multifaceted role in society. These relics, now silent in their stillness, are adequate and their testimony to her power and prestige. The somber tradition of human and animal sacrifice accompanying her into the afterlife reveals the darker hues of the Shang burial practices, a stark reminder the value placed on the afterlife and the contribution of service beyond death. Remains of Fu Hao and the artifacts accompanying her stands at testament to bygone era's complexities, its beliefs, and the incredible mark of remarkable women. In a total, Fu Hao was buried with quite a few objects, and I'm going to list them off. 755 jade objects, 564 bone objects, including nearly 500 bone hairpins and over 20 bone arrowheads, 468 bronze objects, including 130 weapons, 23 bells, 27 knives, 4 mirrors, and 4 tigers or tiger heads, 63 stone objects, 5 ivory objects, 11 pottery objects, 7,000 pieces of cowrie shell, which was the Shang Dynasty currency, 16 human sacrifices, and 6 dogs. The Shang Dynasty becomes clear the role of women was indeed complex by varied region. While generally women may have been seen as subordinate to men, the archaeological discoveries paint a picture of certain women who achieved high status and wielded considerable influence. Upon reflection, the tomb of Fu Hao is a testament to this. She was consort to the king, Wu Ding, yet her resting place was adorned with treasures and ritual objects. This singling her prominence. Moreover, texts from that time reveal that Fu Hao was not only a military leader and a priestess, but also a political figure. Despite this, the perspective on gender can be gleaned from the oracle bones, which seems to express a preference for male offspring. One such bone queried the outcome of Fu Hao's pregnancy, eliminating the birth of a daughter as not good. This preference is furthered by evidence by the practice of polygamy among male rulers, aiming at securing male heirs. Nevertheless, Fu Hao's legacy transcends her time, as she was the most valued post and also known now as an ancestor Zhang. In honoring and affirming her enduring sacrifice, it's truly fascinating to delve into the complexities of the social dynamics in such ancient times, isn't it? I'm going to go ahead and share some of my thoughts with you. I was thinking she was the second queen, and she was powerful in the military. She was a general. She also had political status, and she was also a leader in their religion. if we think of a queen today, they can be the head of the church, but they normally do not hold too much political power and what we consider queens today. So with that being said, I really wonder how she would do and deal with today's restraint against women, because it was even more so then than now. But I don't know if we would, with open arms, accept a woman who was a queen out on the battlefield, during a war, battling for her people, and then going through the halls of a castle or a state and, being a politician and making sure that what the king wants or what the person in power wants is done. Along with, she was a mother. She had a lot on her plate, and she carried it out extremely gracefully, I feel like. From my research, she had a big plate, and she filled it, and yet she carried it. Another thing is we mostly only know about her through her grave, but her grave is extremely important to us right now. They're still researching and studying everything, but it's also an Oscal, I believe is how it's pronounced, tomb, which is a huge stamp of this person is outstanding. They have lots of historical importance. And so I really found that today, us as women, we have a lot that's always on our shoulders. We've always, as a woman, we've always had a lot on our shoulders. But wow, she did, and she did it, and she was a warrior. And I am so glad that they discovered her tomb and that we're still learning about it, so that way we have a better understanding of ancient Chinese history, because that's extremely important, is to not only know our history but others' history and how that can actually relate and what we can learn from it. And this is where I'm going to leave you today. Remember, if you enjoy my podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment. Until next week, I'm going to sign off now. The Women of War podcast with Megan. Bye.